Hey y'all, it's Robert with Swamp Base. We're back today to cover some of the things that you'll need on a multi-day paddling trip. In our last episode, we covered everything you need for a short or single day. If you missed it, click the link above and we'll be able to get you up to speed with all the things you'll need in a multi-day trip. Because we're going on a multi-day trip, we want to make sure we have a group of people or at least someone else with us. So I'm going to actually introduce Gina here. She's going to be joining me and teaching you guys some about what we need.
Hi, happy to be here, Rob.
Thanks, Gina. So some of the things that we're really going to cover today are some of the basics you'll need for camping, and we'll get into some of the things that you actually need to be able to sleep out there. Some of the basics would be things like a flashlight. Flashlight's going to be really important. We've got a headlight here, so it's super versatile. What else would you need a flashlight for, Gina?
Occasionally, if you end up paddling after dark or early morning, it's nice to have a running light on your boat so other boaters can see you in those dark hours.
Yeah, a pocket knife kind of falls into that same category. You're going to want to make sure you have one. You won't always need it, but if you do, it's going to be very important. Something like rope is good to be able to tie your canoe, to tie it off to trees you want to enjoy or anchor somewhere, a clothesline, or just general purpose. But Gina, we have a compass up here. Why would one of these be important?
So a compass is important because you need to properly plan for your trip. Knowing where you're going, having a map, and having a plan, telling someone back home where you are and when you plan to be back is super important. That compass helps make sure you're on track. If you ever get lost, you can at least know which direction levees are so you can get back and find help.
Definitely, those are great. If you're going for multi-days, you're obviously going to need to eat. So we've got some food here, some meal items that are quick and easy, and then some snacks. Things with electrolytes will be very helpful, but what other kind of items would you use out there?
Well, it's important to note when you're packing your food that it gets pretty hot in Louisiana, so items that melt or perishable items aren't great to pack, but backpacking meals, canned goods, non-perishable snacks, those are all great to bring.
Definitely. You're going to want a mess kit or something to be able to put your food in. Something like these metal cups make great bowls or mugs. We've got a spoon here that can basically do everything we need, and we've got some hand sanitizer to make sure we can clean and wash up a little bit before we eat.
Yeah, one of the great things about having that metal mug is it can fit right over your camp stove so you can cook your meal or boil your water directly in that
Definitely.
vessel.
We have a trash bag here because we always want to leave an area that we camp in better than we found it. So all of our trash comes out with us, and we'll try to clean up the area a little bit. We know here in South Louisiana that thunderstorms can start up pretty much at a moment's notice, so we've got some rain gear, and that's super important to have.
In this bag right behind the rain gear, we've got some quick dry clothing. I know in the last video, Robert talked about the importance of having wicking clothing, something that protects you from the sun, and that shirt right there is even treated with permethrin, which helps with bug protection as well. And then on this side, we have some camping and sleeping items. Some of them are a bit more for comfort than others. Our camp pillow here is definitely more for comfort. A lot of times I'll just sleep on my dry bag, but if you
I like to be very comfortable, so a pillow is definitely coming with me.
Yep, I've got a light sleeping bag. It stays pretty warm here in Louisiana in the summer, so this is a 50-degree bag. I don't need very much. In the winter though, if you're paddling when it's colder, a heavier bag is probably best. And then we have a hammock here. You can bring a hammock or a tent. I personally like a hammock because they're nice if you can't find dry ground, if the ground's a little muddy. You don't have to worry about laying your tent in there. You can string it up between some trees and not have as big of a footprint on the ground.
There's no lack for trees in the swamp either, but it's actually great to be able to use those to get around things like cypress knees or roots and just get you up off the ground.
Yep. On this side of the table, we have some hygiene and first aid items, and this bag right here are my very important papers. We've got our toilet paper, and then we have a little foldable shovel to dig cat holes. It's important to remember to take out all of the waste that you bring into the swamp. That's why we have a trash bag, our bivy bags, to dispose of our waste properly. And then we have some first aid supplies here. We've got a powder and paste to avoid irritation. It's a wet environment, it's hot, so again, you want to be comfortable. You don't want to be uncomfortable out in the swamp. And then we have a first aid kit as well. This is for a large group. This one I think is rated for about 10 people, so it's really more than Robert and I would need, but if you have a big group, a big first aid kit is nice. And if you just have a couple people, you can bring personal first aid kits or a smaller one as well. And then of course, pack personal toiletry items and those comfort things that you'll need.
First aid items are always something that you're going to want more of rather than less of. You always want to have what you need. But thank you guys so much. That'll actually cover everything that you need for a multi-day paddling trip. We really appreciate you joining us. Check out the next episode to learn more.